Well, Gary, as we finished off on Saturday, you says that, if we didn't win here tonight, forget about Saturday, we'd have been a whole different complexion on the game tonight, so what's your thoughts?
Well, I thought again we started really, really well. We were on the front foot for the first 25 minutes. We got a goal. Should have had maybe another one. The goalie made a couple of good saves. And then we stopped doing everything that was effective. We were putting the ball forward quite early, and we started then going sideways and backwards. And we started making a couple of our own mistakes, which allowed Albion to come back into the game. It wasn't so much they're doing, it was mistakes that we were making. So we got in at half time and we says, look, let's get back to doing what we were doing. And we were okay. But then I think we had a really good chance. The goalie made a decent save. It broke to us in the box to go 2-0 up. And quite shortly afterwards, we've lost a bad goal. 1-1. And I have to be honest, when Albion scored, they were probably the better team. And they went on. And, at that stage, you were probably thinking the way we were playing, that, they looked like the team that were going to go on and get their second goal. However, the lads showed great attitude, kept going. Tom was putting a fantastic cross. And Uzi's had an unbelievable header. And then we went 2-1 up, and that sort of lifted us again. And again, I think we've seen the game out quite comfortably for the last 5 or 10 minutes. But it wasn't an easy game. And I think Brian will be a little bit disappointed that his side haven't managed to take a point, if I'm being honest.
I mean, before the game started, actually, we saw a fairly unfamiliar sight where you gathered the whole team on the pitch. What was the reasons for that? Yeah,
it wasn't me trying to be smart. When we've turned up tonight, we had 3 rooms. You could have 11 in one room, 5 in another, and 5 in another. So the only way I could speak to everybody was out on the pitch. So I done the team talk on the pitch, and then the starting lads went into the bigger room, and we had all the set plays and stuff in there. The subs went into the other 2 rooms, and then the same at the end of the game. I couldn't go on and speak to everybody, so it was easier just to speak to them on the pitch. It wasn't me trying to be smart or clever or trying to say, oh, look at me. It was the only way I could address the group as a whole. Even not really being in the same changing room as the subs and that, I don't like that, because I didn't want them to ever feel that they're unimportant. They've got a massive part to play, and I think the subs made a real impact tonight when they came on. First time I've really seen Danny Jardine on a pitch, and I thought he was excellent when he went on. I actually thought he helped change the game in our favour. Rafa would be a wee bit unhappy not to play because he put in a good performance, but you've always got to think about 3 games in a week. He's a little bit older, so that was in the back of my head, but he came on and put in a good performance again. And who else did I bring on? Darren Smith had 1 training session with us, and I'm trying to get his fitness through match time. He's lacking a wee bit of sharpness now, but again, he done well. And I think the subs changed the game back in our favour.
Again, we started the game very well. Familiar team from Saturday. First 10-15 minutes, we go 1 goal up, but it became pretty much, the 2 teams went toe to toe after that. We felt maybe we lost our rhythm a bit.
Yeah, listen, you can't always win games playing lovely football. Sometimes you've got to come and play a different way to win. And we had went to a more effective way, maybe a wee bit more direct in the first half, first 20 minutes, and it was working. And then we stopped doing it, and it caused us problems. And what I'll have to say as well, and I'm just thinking about this now, is the players we finished the game the stronger team. Bearing in mind we've been on the bus to Elgin for 3.5 hours, 4 hours on Saturday there and back. People like Lee Hamilton, 1 training session, he's played 2 90 minutes back to back. So when I think about things, the players have done really well with their energy levels, and now it's about us regrouping for Saturday, which is a big game. My final thing I said to them when I spoke to them was, regardless of what happened in the Stranraer game, if we won tonight, we went into the top 4. Teams can have games in hand, but you've got to win your games in hand. Yep. When I took over, we were 5 points outside the top 4, and already we've made that back up, and we've now opened up a gap on Stenhousemuir 4. And we play them on Saturday where we can open up a 7-point gap. So the players now need to go and recover. People on Thursday will do different amounts at training. Obviously, the ones that have played 290 minutes will do next to nothing. Other lads need a wee bit of a blast to get them up to speed. And we'll look to pick a team on Saturday to go and finish off, which would be a great first week.
I know you have an eye for real detail in the games. And when we lost the goal, when Albion equalised for a set piece, and that's 2 set pieces
but we thought there was a problem, but we looked there and there wasn't actually too much wrong. We maybe just dropped a line, but everybody was in the right position. We just broke the defensive line too quickly, and what happened was the ball ricocheted in between 2 of our players. One went back before the rest of his teammates, and in that gap the ball fell, and they slotted it in. So we can work on that, but what you've got to bear in mind is the lads are taking all the organisation just now off of technology. I've not actually had a chance to work on set plays with them, for and against. But what I would say is our deliveries tonight were excellent for our own set plays. So, listen, you're not going to get everything straight away when you're not being able to work with them on the training pitch as much as I would have liked. But we'll be able to do a wee bit of organisation on Saturday and hopefully Thursday, and hopefully that will sort us out for the rest of the season going forward.
Just prior to yourself coming out, we spoke with Tomo, we spoke with Uzi. Great contribution obviously for Uzi with the 2 goals, and again, we keep coming back to Tomo's deliveries for either set pieces or open play. I mean, it's just a wand that he's got in his...
No, it isn't. He wants to take them for everywhere, but sometimes in the game, like at left back with 10 minutes to go, I didn't even want my right back running over to the left back here to take one. So I'm actually taking him off with some of them just to keep the shape of the team. But his delivery's first class. Listen, he's been great for the minute I walked in the door. He's been a good captain. He's relayed stuff to the players and that for me. He's really stepped up since I've came in, so I've not got any complaints with Craig, and I know that his assists are it's a real big plus for us as a team. And I'm delighted for the big man as well. I spoke to Big Uzi before the game. I gave him a heads up that he was starting again tonight before I named the team. He says he's watched the game back for Saturday. I think he's one of these players that beats himself up. He was worried that he hadn't scored a goal. I says, but look at his stats now. He's played a 60 minutes and a 90 minutes under me, and he's had an assist and 2 goals. So, long may that continue. But he's a handful. I've just spoke to him there. I think he's got a lot of similarities to Nathan Austin when I first took over. I see a lot of things, they do some things that are unbelievable, and there's other things that drive you mad. But that's where he is just now, and it's up to me and Grant to help him develop as a player. But I spoke to him just at the end there. I says, "You enjoying it here?" He says, "I'm really enjoying it, Gaffer, and I'm going to try and help him become even better."
And again, similar to Saturday there, the last 20 minutes, City looked very, they looked a far stronger team in terms of what they had.
And that's a credit to the players. That's nothing to do with me. That's how well they've looked after themselves when they've been off for 3 months. My sessions have maybe gave them a little bit of match training, like my training sort of based on things you would do in a match. So that's maybe getting them match ready. But in terms of their fitness, that base comes from what they've done. And as I say, and I'll reiterate this because he's the one that points to it, Lee Hamilton's had 1 training session and been able to play 2 90 minutes. That's difficult. I know central defenders run the least on a pitch, but that's difficult to play 2 90 minutes. So, it was a learning experience for him. Ryan Stevenson caused us a lot of problems for throw-ins. He used his body well. Experienced player, Steve-O, he's maybe not got the legs that he used to have, but he can use his body well and his head well. And he gave them a wee challenge, and that was a difficult evening for them at certain parts of the game. So we've came through it, we regroup, and we try and go refreshed to go into another big game on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think at the tail end of the season, maybe this might be just one of these nights where you look back and you think, you know what, we've done it.
Listen, anybody that thinks we were going to come here and win 4 or 5-0 tonight is deluded. That isn't going to happen. Albion Rovers are fighting to get away from the bottom of the league. They've brought in some experienced players. I watched their game on Saturday. They were always in the game, but they lost a bad goal right at the start of the second half, and 2-0. But they were in the game up until then. They brought in good players. Brian's an experienced manager, and that was never going to be an easy game. It's never easy at Albion Rovers. And on the back of us having played to Elgin and putting so much into the Elgin game, I was worried about this game. I was more worried about this game than I was about Elgin, and I don't mean that disrespectful to Elgin. I thought the lads would maybe get a bounce with Elgin with a new manager coming in. It generally happens, you get a wee lift for the players. Most teams get a good result in their manager's first game. I was more worried about this, and that's what my first part of my team talk was. This was about mentality tonight. It wasn't about ability, it was making sure that we were switched on to do all the dirty stuff to allow our ability to come through and win the game, and the players done that, so fair play to them.
Yeah, well, congratulations again, Gary.
Thank you.
Good deserved victory. We look forward to Saturday. Stennismuir at home.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.